Yeah, this is JHouze Radio, episode 101. I can't believe we made it this far. It's been one heck of a journey. Today actually is the beginning of season 5 of JHouze Radio. Um, we have a new, we're still negotiating a new theme song, but by the time you hear the audio version of this, the theme song will already be in here. But for anybody who's watching live, we're working on a few things, especially a new theme song. Might even get some new background art. A lot of cool, interesting things that I'm working on behind the scenes for season 5. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're actually, well,
And you
no.
got to put batteries on your on-air sign because, like, seriously,
Every time I
we're
put
on
batteries,
air.
I think it's something wrong with that thing. I put new batteries in. I was like, all right, this thing's good now. I got new batteries. It's going to be good to go. I went to turn it on just now. Doesn't work. It's
That's
busted.
what she said.
Yeah, that's definitely what she said. So, probably got to get a new on-air sign. It's definitely busted. I'm gonna.
My
That's
Dave and Buster's cup.
your Dave and Buster's cup.
Yeah, that my wife won for me.
Oh, so you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a quick segment of what's on your desk. I'm gonna show you guys what's on my desk. You know what's on my desk right now to the left of me? I got Master Chief holding my PS5 controller.
That
Yeah, how
looks
you like
heavy.
that? How you like that? It's actually not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's probably like
No,
by.
no, 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 no. I'm seeing the controller in his hand makes it look like it's heavy for him.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the whole like point. Is like, oh, he's like flexing his muscles. What's on your desk, Los?
Actually, next to nothing, dude. I literally just have my phone, my coffee, my keys, a hat from when I was working at the garage. Because when you work with sawdust, it'll like dig into your scalp.
Okay,
So you always got to wear some kind of like I guess you call it a ski hat. I don't know.
almost like a hairnet kind of. Not really like a
No,
hairnet.
no, no, like a ski hat.
Okay, okay.
You know, like what criminals use in those old time movies. They all wore
Yeah.
that ski hat.
Oh yeah, true. I don't know why all criminals wear
Um,
that. You
and I
don't
don't
want
know
to.
why I have a cocktail stirrer on my desk.
Super random, but I love it. Like the random things on desks always have an interesting story behind
No,
it.
I mean like I also got 2 chocolate bars on my desk for the days I'm low energy,
Yeah, you
so
got
then I
you,
just get a
you
piece and.
you got to have that snack on your desk just in case.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and it's 85% cocoa dark chocolate.
gotta love it.
Ah, if I can get the 90 to 95%, oh, I love that. But like, it's so bitter. How could you like it? I'm like, because I'm sweet as hell. I don't need nothing else.
Oh, I like
I give
that.
people diabetes. This is how sweet I am.
That sounds like a t-shirt. That sounds like a Lowe's t-shirt right there, ladies and gentlemen. One more thing that I do have on my desk, which
I'm so
I
sweet.
think
I give you diabetes.
yes, yes, I'm so sweet. I give you diabetes. Um,
We got to work on that.
We should make this segment like part of the show every once in a while. Like, what's on your desk? Because we work at a desk all the time. This show is from our desk. Another thing I have on my desk, one of my favorite Ninja Turtles of all time, Raphael. And this is like the old school, like the first film,
Yeah.
Raphael. Man, like the detail in this thing.
Raphael's your favorite?
Yeah, Raphael's my favorite. I freaking love this guy. Big fan.
Michelangelo, man.
Mikey, Mr.
See,
Pizza
I like
himself.
Michelangelo, but I most connect with Leonardo.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming actually. You connect with Leonardo. Wow.
Yeah, because think about it. He's the most responsible one. He's always got to be the most serious because everyone else is goofing off. So he's got to pull everyone in on track. And that kind of reminds you of the studio, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what? As soon as you said that, I thought of like, yeah, studio days. I miss the studio days.
I
Jeez,
do have a couple of pops above my desk. Let me grab one of my favorites. Hold on.
okay, okay. This is actually kind of fun, guys. I kind of like this. Something to like get the show started and rolling.
Oh, damn. I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
Is that Con? That was a
Con,
little.
yeah.
Ah, okay, okay.
Con.
Yeah, I need to start updating my pop collection because my pop collection is been stale for a little while.
Oh, wait. I got one you'll love.
Can't wait to see this one.
Hopefully, we can see this one.
Falcon. I can
No.
see the
Wait, hold on. You know what? Let me just shut off my damn fucking. How do I do that on a live stream?
you should just be able to just do it in your camera settings, period.
Settings. Virtual background. Oh, virtual background. There you go. So you can see my damn ugly office.
Oh, Captain America. Yes. Oh, you got the new suit too? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've had this for close to a year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just in time for
Friend
the
of
new
a friend
movie.
of a friend got it through one of those monthly boxes.
Mhm.
Didn't want it. He was like, "You want it?" I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Wow. I'm surprised. I would have held on to that. Screw that.
You know
Well,
what? I think that they didn't realize what they had.
oh, okay, okay.
I think he thought it was a Falcon one.
Oh, yeah, because I immediately when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, Falcon." Yeah, you know.
I got the Captain America one, so I'm ready for that movie to come out.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here. The little and before we get started, the one pop that I do have closest to me is actually in reference to what we're talking about today, Mr. Logan himself. The one, and this one's a bobblehead.
Oh, he's got the leather coat on,
Yeah, yeah, it's got the leather coat on, but
so
the
that's
I
from the
thought,
movies, then, right?
yeah, I think this is supposed to be old man Logan. So I think that's what they were going for here because he
The
has like
old
a
man
little.
Logan would have a full beard and it'd be white.
That's weird because he is like gray in his hair on this one. I don't know then. I don't know what they were going for here with this one.
Maybe it was. They just didn't want to put a lot of gray.
Yeah, maybe, probably. So yeah, that is our little quick segment of what's on your desk that we just randomly just started doing. Why not? New season, trying new things. All right, guys. So yeah, like I said, this is episode 101, JHouze Radio, the podcast of pop culture. We're going to be talking about Deadpool today. Deadpool and Wolverine. That's all we're going to be talking about. This is a spoiler cast episode. So honestly, if you have not watched the film yet, which if you haven't watched it by this point, what are you doing? Turn off the podcast, go watch it right now, then come back to us. Full spoiler cast. We're not going to segment spoiler or non-spoiler. We're just going to jump straight into whatever we're going to talk about with this one. It's been 2 weeks. I've been dying to talk about it. So yes, our review of Dead Man,
Dead man.
Dead Man. I'm
Oh,
thinking
don't
of
don't don't bring Fern into this.
oh man, I feel like Fern's probably talking about us right now. That's probably why I said his name. Um,
I'm worried about him though, man. He's like been getting into like some hardcore depression.
we gotta get that man on the show. That's what he needs right now. That's all he needs. Got to get him on the show.
Yeah, he's got to put down the damn blunt and communicate a little bit.
get him, get him on here to talk about some pop culture. So yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. Los, I'm gonna let you go first. What are your initial thoughts on the film?
Um, it's good,
Okay,
but
it's
I've seen
good.
it twice now,
Okay,
and the second time around, I wasn't as excited as I was on the first time.
okay. Why do you think that is though?
I don't know. I
Okay,
really don't know.
it probably could be because at that point you already saw all the cameo surprises. Like, you know what I mean? Like this film is like cameo heavy. It's
Yeah.
very cameo heavy. Like compared to most of the MCU films, this is extremely cameo heavy. So I guess by the second time you watch it, you're like, because I feel like for me, and I don't want to take over your segment, but I just want to say real quick, like for me, the one thing that really made this movie so fun is the surprise. And I did wonder, like, how rewatchable is this movie if you're already seeing the surprises like 20 times already at that point? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the fight scenes are amazing. You know,
Yeah.
um, most of the music was good.
Okay.
Um, I'm not a big Madonna fan, but it was used well. Um,
I
it
love
was just
Madonna.
you like Madonna, really?
I actually do I like old school Madonna. I like old school Madonna. Like 90s, 80s Madonna, maybe even early 2000s, you know. I don't like all her stuff, but her hits, they
I'm
slap.
not,
They
bro. Let
slap.
me tell you something. As a DJ, people were like, "Play Madonna." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I don't play
Madonna
it."
again.
Ah, bro, no. There's just like I'll play Safety Dance every day for a year, and I'll still be singing the song. But
Mhm.
Madonna, I get very bored of her very quickly.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
and I don't know what it is about her, you know?
I'm surprised. You seem like a Madonna guy, honestly.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh, man.
Absolutely. When Madonna came out, and she's being popular, I was into Depeche Mode and The Cure,
Yeah.
you know? So, like, I just went the other direction. Plus, I was still listening to high energy music,
Yeah.
the 80s version of disco,
Okay.
sometimes called Italio disco.
Italio disco. Okay.
Yeah. A crossover of Italio disco. It was it became an Italio disco hit, but it was never written, composed to be an Italian disco hit. Blue Monday by New Order.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, just to give you an idea. Um, so anyway, yes, the music was good, the editing was great. I just kind of feel like parts of it seemed rushed, and then other parts slowed down just for a hair too long here or there. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
Um, and I didn't like how they talked about Wolverine's trauma. Like I felt like that was a huge slowdown in the story.
Okay. Um,
But it was good. The unnecessary him not having a shirt scene on kind of bothered me
what scene was that? I'm trying to think. I'm not having a shirt scene.
at the end.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean, come on. It's Logan. He's got to show the muscles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but get rid of the freaking helmet. You see what I'm trying to say?
Honestly, I'm going to be um people probably aren't gonna like me for saying this, but I actually didn't like the helmet. I didn't like it.
I thought for the lack to quote Deadpool, those blowjob handles uh, were just a little too big. Like
Yeah,
I thought that the angle came out too far. If they would have just tucked them in just a bit, I
yeah,
think I'd have been happier with it.
I agree. I didn't. I think that was my same thing with it. It just seemed too wide. It was very wide. You know what I mean? So it almost
Yeah.
like at first when he put on the helmet, I was like, "Oh wow, awesome!" Like because at that point we're at the end of the movie, like like it's almost over basically. The movie's pretty much almost done, and then all of a sudden they pop out this one more thing, and it's Logan with not only just the suit on, but the mask. And I was like, "Oh, cool, awesome!" But in my head, I'm thinking, "It looks a little funny, but cool." I mean, it's something that we've never
To
gotten over the
me,
years.
the helmet, and maybe because I'm used to looking at it in comic books, but it seemed a little thick. And my last two or three little quips is I did not like Blade's armor.
Um, the whole blade scene thing in chat, guys, I know we're kind of like jumping around all over the
Well,
place with
no,
this.
the question was, what did you like? What did you not like? And that's what I'm in the middle of. I said everything I liked. Now I'm talking about the dislikes, and it's kind of nitpicky. I will agree with that,
Yeah.
but I just didn't like his armor.
I think the reason, in at first it was a little weird, the whole armor thing. I think it was them. I think they might have used some kind of special effects because obviously Wesley Snipes is not as big as he was before. So I wonder if like part of the way he looked had to do with special effects. Maybe they tried to beef him up a little
No,
bit or
I
something.
think the thing about Blade that was always so great about him was his armor was fucking sharp. It didn't matter Blade 1, 2, or Blade 3, the terrible one. Um,
Yeah, that was terrible. Blade 3 was horrible. But
but
yeah.
I think he had the best costume though, like armor
Yeah.
wise.
Oh yeah, that totally did. Totally did.
I just didn't like that, which was a little nitpicky. Um, what's her name who played Elektra? Yo, to me, she looks so old.
I mean, they all are though. I mean,
Listen, everyone else who did a cameo looked great. I've seen her, like in the news or whatever, and in previews, and she doesn't look as old as she looked in this movie. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
So
That was my only real gripe. I thought she did an amazing job, and Jennifer Gardner.
Jennifer Garner, yeah.
And she still had the moves with the size. I was like really
Yeah.
impressed.
I think the thing about that, and we're gonna jump into the elephant in the room in a second, obviously, AKA Gambit. I think the main
I
thing
didn't
about
understand shit he said.
I th-
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
understand a couple words, then it'd be like mumble mumble in French. I was like, what the fuck?
okay, you know what? Yeah, let's jump into that because that I was that supposed to be him trying to do a serious accent, or was he just trolling everybody?
I think he was trying to do a Creole accent, okay, from Louisiana.
Yeah,
And at points he got it correct, but at other points he didn't. So when Deadpool says the line, "Who the fuck was your vocal coach?" The
yeah.
Minions, I was like, I lost it because I was like, that's so fucking true. Um, I just
Oh,
think that maybe he didn't have enough time to prep. Maybe it was the mix. Maybe he was actually trying to speak French, and I thought it was English, and that's why I was like, "What the fuck?"
yeah. It was. And then at one point, he sounded like he was trying to put on like a Hispanic accent, and at one point, like there was just different points where he was talking where his accent sounded like something different, like almost each and every time.
No, it was Creole. It was definitely Creole, but it was a bad Creole.
It was bad, but
It was a
yeah,
bad
it was.
Creole.
So that's why there were points where I was like, is he like being serious or is he joking? I couldn't really tell at times, especially when, like you said, parts where it sound horrible. I was like, all right, well, maybe he's joking, but then wait, no, maybe he's serious, so on and so forth. But I will say, and I know it sounds like we're griping on this movie, but we're not. For me, that was like the highlight of the movie. Like seeing Channing Tatum play Gambit, which is one of my favorite X-Men ever.
Really?
What yes. Like, besides Wolverine, because that's my dude. Besides, like, outside of Wolverine, Gambit is one of my favorite X-Men. Growing up as a kid, I don't know why I freaking love that character. When it came to X-Men video games, when it came to comics and the cartoons, that was the one character that I loved. I loved him. And I think it's his abilities, his powers, is something about that that I just gravitate to. The cards, the staff, all of that's just so freaking cool to me. And to see him in this film using the staff correctly, using the cards in an awesome way,
Correctly.
correctly. I was like a little kid again. I was like, oh yes, finally. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to see Gambit portrayed on screen properly. All these years later as an adult, we finally got that.
I like the fact that they let him portray Gambit because his Gambit movie never took off.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I did have I from the neck down, I believe the costume was perfect, but the headpiece, something about it didn't look right to me. I don't know if it was the shape of his head, it was too tight. I don't know what it was, but I think it made his face look a little puffy.
Yeah, it did. I think, I mean, obviously they were trying to go comic book accurate, which I appreciate,
Yeah,
but maybe they could have real lifed a few things on the costume. You know what I mean? Like, all right, maybe the whole neck piece probably would look a little weird in real life. Maybe we should shorten it a little bit. I don't know. Get creative. I'm not a costume designer. But yeah, it did the neck thing felt the same way for me. It did look a little weird, because yeah, like I guess with his face, it did make his face look a little puffy,
and
honestly.
here's the thing though, if they would have done him without it, it would have taken you a while to figure it out it was Gambit until he said his name.
Probably would have, yeah, because you were like, "Who's this guy?" Unless until you saw like the cards or the staff, like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, that everybody knows that neck piece, that's Gambit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everybody knows that. You
yeah.
know, um,
Okay, so do you want to start talking about the movie from beginning to end, or would you rather talk about the cameos and then talk about the movie itself?
let's talk about the cameos and then talk about movie because I feel like the cameos. is I think that's the star of this movie, honestly. Side note, what's up, Legion in chat? How you doing, man? Appreciate you stopping by.
Oh,
And
Legion's
yes,
in chat.
yeah, Legion's in chat. Um,
Aloha, brother.
and yes, I agree with you, Legion. I would 100% like to see Gambit in his own movie for sure.
Gambit, I think, will be introduced in Secret Wars before the X Men.
Why so?
I just don't think they have enough time to really put him in anything.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, that makes
Not,
sense.
not nothing bad. Just I don't think they'll have enough time.
Makes sense.
You know.
Yeah, because it's a lot going on right now. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And speaking of Secret Wars, we definitely got to talk about that too. The other elephant in the room. We're gonna definitely touch base on that before the end of the show.
Yeah, I kind of have a mixed
Mixed bag
reaction.
on that one.
No, it's mixed. It's mixed, but that's another conversation. Okay, so I have a list of cameos here. Okay,
Okay.
so we'll start out with the Human Torch. What did
Oh
you think about that?
man.
And what do you think about how different the character was in Deadpool than he was in the movies?
Um, he was definitely different in Deadpool in the sense of like I mean, in a sense, he was kind of the same because he was still, cracking jokes, smart aleck, and but he was just older. So honestly, not. I guess I would take that back. I think he was pretty much the same Johnny Storm, just older. Honestly.
I thought he was bitter.
Yeah, he was a little better. Well, yeah, I guess that goes with him being older. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was a little like, but then again, he's stuck in the void. So I think anybody stuck in the void for so long probably gets a little upset after a while.
Hey man, if
You know
you've
what
been
I
married for 20 years, guaranteed you're stuck in a void. So yeah.
mean? But I would have to say though, I'm kind of a lot of people got spoiled. I'm so glad that I watched this movie at 10 a.m. the day that it released. I had no idea that Chris Evans was going to be in this movie. So when he first showed up and we saw Chris Evans, we're like, oh, okay. This is just another version of Captain America. That's what I was expecting. And then Deadpool's like, all right, he's about to say, and thinking he's gonna say, Avengers or
Avengers Assemble.
a symbol. I'm like, oh, he's gonna say it again. Cool. And then when he said flame on, I lost my mind. The entire theater lost their mind. Which side note, I miss watching Marvel movies in the theater, especially when everybody gets excited.
Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps. And my theater was an amazing experience, by the way.
I watched the first time I watched it at 10:30 in the morning or 11:30, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was 12 people in the theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine was actually like borderline packed, surprisingly, at 10 in the morning. But then again, it was like day one. So
And
um
people were working that day.
yeah, people working that day. But so yeah, that was actually probably my third favorite cameo, honestly.
My dislike of that cameo was when Pyro sucked up his flame
Oh yeah.
and he falls on his nuts. I was just like,
Yeah. I didn't
that
like
was probably the only part I didn't really like
same.
because it wasn't earned yet. You know what I'm trying to say? There wasn't like a moment of him being cocky and burning somebody, and then that happens to him.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I didn't like it. I didn't think he earned it yet. But again, I think Chris Evans did a great job.
Yeah, I agree. It's for me, I didn't like that because I just wish they gave him a little bit more time to do his little human torch thing. Just a
Yeah.
little bit. It was almost as if like he went flame on, flame off. And I was like, ah. I was like,
Flame
you kept my
on. Shut it off the budget. Shut it off the budget.
That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
Kind of what it felt like. So I was like, they kind of ended it a little soon. But once again, it just for nostalgic purposes, man. Oh, I loved it. That was a nice surprise. Nice
Okay.
surprise.
Jennifer Gardner as Elektra.
I was neither here nor there. I was never really an Electra fan. It was cool to see her there. I think she was like one of the first people to come out. And then when she popped out in the cave, I was like, "Oh, what? Okay, that's random." We got Jennifer Gardner back after all these years. Awesome, why not? Um,
Um,
it was just nice to
I
see her.
I would have preferred if oh god, what's his name? Her boyfriend. the Elektra's boyfriend,
Oh,
Daredevil.
Daredevil?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would that actually would have been nice to have like a variant Daredevil. That would have been dope. Which I can't
Um,
wait for the Daredevil show.
oh
I
god, what was
cannot
the
wait
name?
for
Who played Batman again? Our favorite Batman?
it. Jeez, which one? The original?
The original, yeah.
Michael Keaton.
No, 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 no. Our favorite Batman, the one that was in the Snyderverse,
Oh, you're talking about
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wanted to see Ben Affleck Daredevil. I did not want to see Elektra.
Oh,
If
I
I would
forgot.
have seen Ben Affleck Daredevil, I would have lost my shit. I would have fucking loved it.
I actually forgot that Ben Affleck played Daredevil. I completely forgot about that until you just said that just now.
Yeah. And here's the thing about Daredevil. If you see the director's cut of the film, you're like, "Oh, this is a much better film." Still not great, but better. Um, I just thought they try to make the Daredevil seem like the Crow. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Um, but I did absolutely I would have lost my shit if Ben Affleck Daredevil was there.
Oh, that would have been crazy.
It
That
would have been
actually
fucking amazing.
the budget probably wasn't big enough for that.
You tell the truth, I don't know if they asked him.
Yeah, probably not. But if they did, that definitely would have put the budget through the roof for
I
sure.
know he put the feelers out there that he'd be willing to do Daredevil again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would have been perfect because once again, nobody would have expected that. You know what I mean? Like with everything that he's doing in DC right now, nobody would have expected that.
Yeah.
Which
Not he had that bad relationship with DC. He
yeah,
left it at a bad place. When he finally understood the character of Batman, it was in the Flash movie, and that was terrible. But him coming back as Daredevil, I think would have been great.
yeah, that would have been
Absolutely
awesome.
great.
100%.
Elektra, I didn't like Jennifer Gardner's version of Elektra.
Okay.
I like the one on the Netflix show.
I still haven't watched the Netflix show yet, actually. Still
You
haven't
haven't watched
watched it.
Daredevil on Netflix?
Oh, I don't know why I thought you said Electra. Jeez, I'm thinking of something
Right,
else.
right. But Elektra's in the Daredevil show.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I started watching the Daredevil show, but I didn't really get too far in it,
You
honestly.
need to watch it. It's good.
Yeah, I
It's
think
really
I'm on
good.
like episode 2 or 3 right now, I think,
I
maybe?
haven't been able to get through season 2 of Luke Cage.
Oh, really? You got it.
Yeah, dude. And you know what it is? And it's not like I don't like the show, is I'd start watching it and something fucking stupid happens. Like I'll get a phone call. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And by the time I get back to it, I'm like, I'm not in the mood.
life
You
life
know?
life starts life and
Yeah, life stupidity. All right. So Wesley Snipes is Blade. What was your reaction when you first saw him?
Um, very shocked because once again, I mean, we haven't seen Wesley Snipes in like Blade in well over what 15 years at this point.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, so especially for his age, so to see him back again, I was
20
like
years
it's
we haven't seen him as Blade.
20 years. Side
Yeah.
note, he
2004 was Blade Trinity.
Side note, he holds the Guinness World Record for any actor who has played a role of a Marvel character. Like you said, 20 something years. So he holds the record for that actually. But yeah, it was good to see him, back again as that character. I was really worried about how he was going to move. What is he going to do? Is he just there just to talk? And then when he actually started fighting, I was like, okay, he's here to do some damage. I
You
appreciate that.
forget he's an actual real martial artist.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at what he did in the original Blade movies. Like that was him. That was all him.
We owe the MCU to Blade,
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, cuz I think that was like the
the first
first
Marvel
technically
movie.
the first Marvel movie. A lot of people don't
Well,
know
the
that.
first
A lot
good
of people
Marvel movie.
yeah, for sure. But a lot of people, especially at that time, didn't know that Blade was a Marvel movie or a Marvel character. So but yeah, it was great to see Wesley back. I'm a really big fan of like his previous work and things like that. So it was nice to see him back. Honestly, it was nice. Uh,
Well, for me, I was more in shock because of the 20 plus years rumors that Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes did not get along.
Oh yeah, they I saw an interview. Wesley said that that was like just like a little fake play beef that they were doing with each other. Supposedly, maybe that was just his way of just like being nice about it.
No, I kind of think that they probably had some problems during shooting, but I don't think it was directly because of those two. I think it's because um, Wesley had problems with director. Like they wouldn't
Mm,
talk to each other. They would hand each other notes, like physical
wow,
notes. They wouldn't talk to each other. I think that
wow.
came out of that. When I saw him, I lost my shit. I was like, "Oh shit, it's Blade!" Not Wesley Snipes. Oh
It's
shit, it's
Blade.
Blade.
Oh, it's Blade. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not. It's not Wesley. Who's Wesley? Who is that?
because I
Um,
agree with Wesley. There's only one Blade.
yeah. Technically, at this point, yeah, there has been. That's why, like I said, he holds the record for the longest played character by an actor in a Marvel
Yeah,
movie
because
to
Mahershala
date.
Ali is already trying to get out of his contract with Blade.
That movie is
It's I think
unfortunately
it's something. It's over 5 years that there's been no movement on Blade.
that's crazy, man. It's and like they're still it's still in their slate, which is crazy. It's still in their slate to come out.
Yeah,
So with the way it's going right now, I'm surprised that it's even still talked about at this point. I figured that they would just trash it and say, "Yeah, it's not working. Let's move on to something else." You know what I mean? Papa Adams in chat, how's it going, man? Appreciate you guys stopping by. So yeah, Blade was a good surprise. I like I said, I just think that Gambit was the big one for me, man. Gambit literally
actually,
stole
that's
the
the
show.
next thing I was gonna say. The next cameo.
Yeah.
So I've said everything I said about him, which is I agree with you. Uh, no, seriously, because that's one of the characters that are very hard to do because he goes on such big changes in the comics, you know,
Yeah.
where he gets playful, he gets serious, he's in love with Rogue, he's obsessed with Rogue, and then he's in love with Rogue, and then he's not that interested in Rogue. It's a very weird thing, but I think they did him correctly.
Mm.
So we both agree that Gambit was a good cameo.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Like I say, he definitely stole the show from me.
What
Um,
about X-23, Daphne Keene?
X-23, I kind of got spoiled that she was going to be in this movie by the red carpet, which I was a little upset because that would have been a nice surprise, because I definitely wasn't expecting her to show back up again
And the
at
trailer
all.
ruined it too.
I think I might have missed it in the trailer because after
No, we
the
talked about it.
did we? I don't
We
remember
talked
that.
about it. Yeah, we talked about it.
Where was she at in the trailer? I don't remember that.
In the last trailer that came out.
Oh, I didn't. No, like, I couldn't have talked about that because I didn't
Yeah,
watch the
we
last.
talked about it. We talked
Um,
about it. Because remember, that's when you mentioned to me that she also played Jackie in The Acolyte.
oh yeah, we did talk. Yeah, I think around that time, yeah, that's when I did find out about it.
Yeah.
Initially, I didn't know, and then around that time, I did find out because of the fact of the um, red carpet, basically. So,
I also love the fact that she spoke Spanish.
oh
Because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
remember, in Logan, she only spoke Spanish.
yeah. You're right. I kind of did like that too. Kind of going back to the roots, basically. So, but it was nice to see her in there. And at first, I
And
didn't
with the
think.
proper amount of claws.
Yes, of course. It was nice to see her actually go back at it again as far as fighting. Because at first, I thought her cameo was just gonna be like, "Hey, I'm here. Hey guys, good luck in the fight, and catch you later." But they actually let her get in there and scrap, which I really did appreciate.
The one thing I didn't like um, was how she was able to beat Juggernaut. Now, my whole thing is because if I remember correctly, Juggernaut is near invulnerable,
Yeah.
but maybe in the Void, his powers don't work as well because they're linked to magic as opposed to its biological. His powers are linked to magic; they're not biological.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. I forgot how did she beat Juggernaut? I forgot. I don't remember.
She slid, cut his feet. He tipped over. She chopped off his head, took the
Oh
helmet.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she did do that. Yeah, that was.
Tactically, genius.
Yeah, definitely was. Definitely was. Um, what other cameos did we get? I
Oh,
think
hold
that's
on.
all.
Blake Lively as Lady Pool.
Oh yeah. Ryan Reynolds like whole family was in that movie. His both of his kids were in there too.
Yeah.
Like the baby Deadpool, that was his baby. And like the little brat
Deadpool.
kid Deadpool, that was his kid. I thought that was cool. I thought that was
Matthew
cool.
McConaughey as Cowboy Deadpool.
Oh yes, I do remember that. I do remember that. That was actually pretty cool.
Perfect
Um
person to voice that.
yeah. What about our boy Superman from
Wait, I'm
DC?
not done. I'm not done. We're still going through
Uh,
these.
oh, you're going through the Deadpools. Okay.
We going through the cameos. Nathan Fillion as Headpool.
Oh, that was Nathan Fillion?
That was Nathan Fillion. Yeah.
Didn't even realize that.
That's how good of a job he did.
He
What
always
did
does a
you
good.
think of Nice Pool?
I love Nice Pool.
You
That guy
gotta
was so
live. You're gonna
that
live. I'm gonna live. Maybe not.
oh, that part was a little like I think that went on a little too long for me. Like the
No,
whole
I
part,
love that. That part I loved.
that was like, all right, I get it. He's dead and yeah, whatever. But Nice Pool was cool. I loved him. I think he was a good addition to the team for sure.
Okay, what about Happy Hogan? Favreau was in it.
Happy Hogan. Yeah, it was alright.
I liked it because it added continuity to the rest of the MCU,
Yeah.
and I think it was a perfect part for him. You know, anything bigger would have ruined it. Anything smaller would have been silly. And I love the fact that they did the Hulk versus Wolverine that's when Wolverine was wearing the brown suit,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
and Deadpool trying to imitate Loki's speech.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Oh man, for sure, for sure.
What did you think of the short Wolverine?
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. I mean, I think that was probably the accurate height of what Wolverine should have been, right?
No, a hair small.
A hair smaller.
Wolverine is 5'3" in the comic book.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a comedic element, which was
I love
cool.
it. I
I
loved it.
didn't mind it.
What
I
about
didn't mind it.
Patch? You know who Patch is,
Patch.
right?
Uh
That's the Wolverine in the tuxedo with the patch over his eye.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
I
his
thought that was
undercover
cool.
persona called Patch.
Oh, okay, okay. See, see, I probably should watch that movie a second time. Honestly.
Yeah.
Definitely should watch that movie a second time because I feel like the first time you're going through all the hype, everything is just coming like going at you so fast. Watch it a second time, you kind of get a chance to take your time with it, take your paces and like really soak in more things. So
I think the problem with this movie is if you're not knowledgeable of the comic books, certain things go over your head.
yeah, I 100% agree. I was thinking that too. I was thinking that because if you're coming into this movie and you haven't seen a Marvel movie since like I don't know.
And
Freaking
again, the movies, as great as they are, they're a lot of it is very different than the comic books.
oh yeah, of course, because you gotta Hollywoodify it a little bit, basically.
Yeah,
So
but like the Wolverine with the one hand. Did you notice that?
I think I might have missed that Wolverine with the one hand.
The Wolverine that's all feral with the big fur and everything else that was on top of Deadpool stabbing him
Oh, you mean like at the? Oh
when he
no,
was jumping to find the Wolverine.
yeah, I don't remember that one. Don't remember that one.
Oh man, you definitely got to rewatch it.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch
That's
it.
from the Apocalypse series of books.
Okay.
I thought that like when I saw that, I knew it right away. I was like,
Mm,
"Oh shit, they did Apocalypse." And
mhm.
then immediately look. Does he have his hand cut off? Yes, he does have his hand cut off. Cyclops actually blew his hand off.
Mm.
I thought was great. And then the crucified fever dream
Oh yeah.
Wolverine. Bro, that's literally ripped off the cover. Literally ripped off the cover. I was like, yes.
Mm. Yeah. This movie. That's why I said this movie was like a comic book fan's wet dream. Honestly.
It wasn't so much a wet dream. It was very quick, healthy nods to the source material that
Mm.
didn't take away from the film.
Yeah. I agree,
because I
100%.
looked at those and I picked them out right away, and I was like, "That's awesome. Next one. That's awesome. Next one. That's awesome. Next one."
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about it. Like, it didn't linger on it to do fan service. It gave the source material the respect it deserves. And it did it properly. It fit in the story so smoothly that
Mm.
I actually was like, "That's impressive."
For sure, for sure.
What about the return of Sabretooth?
Um, Very lackluster because that's something just like Deadpool said, this is what we've been waiting for so many years. So sit back, relax, and enjoy it. And then it cuts his head off in like 2 seconds. I was a little upset, especially since like they went out the way to bring back the actor who played the role originally. And I get it, he's probably a little older. You could have put somebody else in that suit for the fight part.
No, I thought it
Um,
was perfect.
I mean,
You know
I didn't
why I thought it was perfect?
why.
Because they spend so much time hyping up that fight,
Yeah, but give me something.
and it made Wolverine look tougher.
Yeah, yeah, and I get that, and I definitely did appreciate that, but give me a little something more than just a quick slice his head off. Dead man, how's it going in chat? How you doing, man? Long time no see. We
Uh,
definitely got a lot of people hopping in chat that haven't been in here in a while. Appreciate you
yeah,
guys
because
coming
we're on
out.
our old schedule.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, you
about
know
Toad?
what? That's what it is.
What about
Toad,
Toad?
I love seeing Toad in there. Toad is my guy. He's probably one of my favorite villains from the original 20th Century Fox films. Um, it was a nice callback, and speaking to Legion's question about what did we think about the 20th Century logo Fox in the film, this movie was a farewell letter to that era of X Men,
Yeah, well,
basically.
we should talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, Toad coming back was awesome. Love seeing
Pyro?
Toad. Pyro was cool. He had his little moments here and there. Wasn't really crazy about him in the like previous movies, but once again, it was a nice reunion, basically.
Yeah. I know you're not gonna know who this is. Callisto? The
Um,
chick with all the
oh
tattoos, which you probably don't remember.
yeah, I don't remember. Like I
Okay.
said, you have a one up on me where you saw it twice already at this point. So for me,
No,
it's
I also knew the source material because when I saw it the first time, I picked her out.
yeah, nah, I don't remember. So what's the next one?
The monster, Elioth, whatever he's called in.
Elio. Oh,
The monster from season 1 of Loki.
Elias. It was,
Elias, thank you.
yeah, he was, it was good to see Elias there. I mean, he was like one of the big baddies that everybody was afraid of every time he came around, just like in Loki. It's
I
pretty
just love
cool.
the fact that Deadpool pointed out, he goes, Elias from season 1 of Loki. I was like,
Yeah,
"That's fucking genius." Okay,
I freaking love that.
Azrael, the
Azri.
red dude who kept teleporting. Nightcrawler's dad,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
and the
Um,
only character from X-Men First Class Generation.
yeah, I felt like he was there, but he wasn't really there. Like he was just like kind of chilling in the background most of the time.
I thought he was perfect for fan service, and they used him well.
Yeah, I think that's
The
just all it was.
the Juggernaut. The actor who played the Juggernaut in Deadpool and Wolverine is the same actor who played the muscle-bound dude in Free Guy.
Never finished watching Free Guy,
Oh,
but
you
okay.
should. It's really good. It's really
Yeah,
good.
I started it, but just never finished it.
It's good. It's worth the watch. What do you think about the Juggernaut?
Juggernaut was cool. Juggernaut's one of my favorite baddies from the X-Men series. So it's kind of funny. Deadpool was like, "Oh, so you're this year's Juggernaut, huh?" Because like almost every time you see an X-Men movie, it's like a different Juggernaut.
Yeah.
So that was actually nice that he poked fun at him.
And Ryan
Um,
Reynolds played it in Deadpool 2. The
Juggernaut,
voice of Juggernaut in Deadpool 2 was Ryan Reynolds.
really? Get
Yeah.
out of here! Oh
Yeah,
my
it was.
god.
Okay, Lady Deathstrike and Psylocke.
Which character was that?
Lady Deathstrike is the Asian chick with the long nails.
Oh, okay, okay. Don't really have much feelings.
Psylocke, the Asian chick in the purple leotard.
Yeah, I don't really have much feeling towards either of those characters.
Okay.
That was just like
And
a,
there was one deep dive for fan service. The dude in the red and white striped shirt is a character called the Russian, and he's a villain for the Punisher.
Oh, deep cut.
Yeah,
Okay.
Captain America's shield makes an appearance. Tony's arc reactor makes an appearance.
Yes.
Pepper Potts Forbes cover makes an appearance. The Fantastic Car made an appearance, a great one.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now this is
Ant
stuff that
Man.
was in the background. The Milano, you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, that was there. The foot that they got on and escaped everything was a Sentinel's foot.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. Wow.
I
Jeez.
didn't see this, but I've seen it everywhere. Doctor
Okay.
Strange cloak is supposedly somewhere in the background.
Whoa, I missed that one.
Ant-Man's corpse, obviously. Asgard's castle is seen in the background.
Yes, I did mirror the castle.
Black Order's Q ship, you know, the circle ship that was in that was it the Secret Wars movie? Not Endgame, but Secret Wars. Not Secret Wars, the one before Endgame.
Infinity War.
Yes. Remember
That
that
was in
Spider-Man
there.
jumped, yeah,
Oh,
that
you
was
know
there
what?
in the background.
You know what? I did see that. I was like, man, I've seen that ship somewhere, and I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember where I saw it from. But yeah, that makes sense.
The helicarrier was in the background.
Yes, I did see that. That's
A
crazy. Wow,
pirate ship was in the background.
super random. Yeah.
20th Century Fox logo, but we're talking about that later.
Mm.
Deadpool referencing Spider-Man with the pew 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 flip.
Yeah, that that was hilarious. I wonder if that's a sign for a future movie.
Hopefully,
Probably.
the Chitauri Leviathans, those flying big ships
Mhm,
in the first Avengers movie, that
mhm.
was in the background.
Oh, okay.
Tony Stark's hot rod was one of the vehicles that was used. Um, Deadpool's chimichanga truck was one of the vehicles in the background when they were fighting by the 20th Century Fox sign. His
You
chimichanga truck was there.
wow.
There's an artist, Letfield, who's notorious for being terrible at drawing feet.
What?
Yes,
Specifically feet, though?
specifically feet.
Okay.
And Deadpool, so funny. You know the store that they got thrown into that's blue right before the big Deadpool
Oh, yeah.
fight? That
Mhm.
store was Letfield's Just Feet, and it was a shoe store. So they gave a nod to him by giving him a shoe store, a man who can't draw feet.
Oh my goodness.
Rob Liefeld, that's his name.
Jeez Louise.
And those are the ones that have been listed. Um, I know there's way more in there, but I think
Of
there's something
course.
like over 400 Easter eggs in the movie.
Jeez.
I saw somewhere.
Wow. Yeah, this movie is the quintessential Easter egg.
Yes,
Honest.
and Dogpool. That dog is the ugliest dog in the UK. That dog has that title.
Wow.
That's the truth. That dog has the title of the ugliest dog in the UK.
You gotta love having that title. At least you're the top at something, even if it's
Yeah,
the ugliest. At least you're, the best ugliest.
yeah. What was your favorite joke in Deadpool?
Oh, good
I have
question.
3.
My favorite joke. All right, give me your 3. I gotta think about that because there's a lot of good jokes in this movie.
The cocaine reference.
Oh yeah, actually that's up there. I actually did like that.
Um,
We said Feige said we can't talk about this.
yeah,
No matter how you say it, it's gonna know what you're talking about.
yeah. Um, when uh when Deadpool goes, when Blade tells Deadpool, "I don't like you," and Deadpool goes, "You never did." That was just so smooth and subtle. I loved it. And a
Very
couple
smooth.
seconds later, they were like, "Who's your dialect coach? The Minions?" I fucking lost it. I
Yeah, that
because
was
I'm a
just
big Minions fan, and I didn't expect the Minions being referenced in a Marvel movie.
really. You're a
Yeah,
Minions fan? I did not
I
know that.
love, bro, the Minions movie. If I'm ever feeling sad or depressed, I put that movie on, and within 10 to 15 minutes, I am laughing my ass off. That movie, I must have watched it 10 times, and it is still funny to me. I watch Despicable Me for the Minions. If you look at my DJ videos, you'll notice I have a stuffed minion that sits on top of my DJ equipment.
Really? I gotta
I
go back
have a
to watch
little
that.
Minions dancing figure on my dashboard. Hanging off my mirror is a Minions flashlight. I love the Minions, and Bob is my favorite.
That is a very big lore reference and the lowest lore that I did not know about. That's
Well, you know
interesting.
what it is? I think that the Minions are so close in humor to Looney Tunes
Yeah.
that I love it, because to this day I still watch Looney Tunes, and one of my odd favorites is Foghorn Leghorn because of the lines he has. You know, like that
Yeah.
boy's as sharp as a bowling ball. Like that. That's just hysterical to me.
Jeez Louise.
And Pepe Le Pew, because I know he's not politically correct in any which way, shape, or form, but he's still funny. So yeah, so those are my three favorite jokes. And yours?
I think one of my favorite jokes now that I think about it, it's not really like a big joke, but I just thought it was just hilarious because he's always talking about the budget. Um,
Hmm.
where what is his name again? Our Captain America, um,
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, where Chris Evans is about to get well, he gets skinned by the big baddie, basically. And
Or how
Deadpool's like,
or how he describes it. I don't care if I get popped like some kind of meat balloon.
yeah, yeah. And then like he gets skinned, and then Deadpool's like, well, it's a good thing that he's going now because he was destroying the budget or something like that. I don't know.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was just I know it's not a big joke, but it's so funny because Deadpool's always talking about the Deadpool budget in all the films. And it was just the way he said it, it was just so like just nonchalant, and but it was funny. I don't know why. It was just so funny, like, and because I'm thinking that at the end of the day, it's true. Like, he's probably is killing the budget for the movie by being here. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was hilarious to me. I don't know why. That was so funny. Um, I think another one was what is he talking about? I'm looking up the jokes. I'm trying to find the ones that I really loved. Um, he, one where I think Deadpool says something to Wolverine about he really let himself go since the divorce. And
Oh, that was hysterical.
in real life, Hugh Jackman got a divorce, and I'm just like, dang, he's putting the real life in the movie. Oh man, that's
And you know,
crazy.
I haven't looked up why he got divorced yet.
Yeah, I didn't even know until like after I saw the movie, and I was like, huh, did he really get divorced? And I like as certain jokes were said in this movie, like afterwards, I went to look up certain jokes because some of them is obviously relating to something real. So yeah, I didn't look up that one yet either, though. But that was actually pretty
Yeah,
funny.
the divorce joke was good.
The
All right,
other
what was
one that the other one I love, last one is obviously one of the hideouts for like the bad guys is actually Ant Man's enlarged body, and I love when Deadpool said, "Oh well, Paul Rudd finally aged because he was dead."
Yeah, that's true though. That was great.
It is
That was
because
great.
like Paul Rudd is like what almost he's like 50 something years old, and that man still look like he's like 30 something. That man
Yeah.
looks good. I don't even know how he does it. He must have found the fountain of youth or something like that
Bro,
because that
you're
man
another
looks
one you
amazing.
don't age.
Yeah, man, black don't crack, man.
Yeah. Paul Rudd has got to be black somewhere
Yeah,
because
he's
he
gotta
don't
be,
crack.
man. That man is
Or the
that
other
man
one is Asian don't raisin.
yeah, Asian no raisin. Um, what's the ones for Latinos? I think Latinos have one too, right?
No, we don't.
No?
We age. We
Oh.
age. Honestly, it really depends on what your mixture is,
Okay.
how good you age. Um, but it's random because we are crazy mixture.
Yeah.
You know, indigenous, black, Asian, um, and white, all mixed in.
Jeez.
And it's not just is there's in Mexico there's a lot of Greek ancestry which people don't understand.
Mhm.
Like the term gringo comes from people calling white people griegos, meaning Greek. So there's where that term comes from. You know, look at Panama. Panama has a large African ancestry. So many people are black there. Dominican Republic, the same thing. Puerto Rico's mixed, mostly indigenous black and white. And then you go all over Central America, and it's indigenous, black and white, but with such a strange combination of, grandfather may have been black, grandmother may have been indigenous, and then two generations they just go indigenous, and then another one they add a white person in there. Like it's just our mix is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Mm.
So for us, is there's no, we age throughout the whole spectrum. You
Nah.
know, some are really good, some are really bad. You know,
I feel you. I feel you. So I do
yeah.
have one. I do have one question about someone that we haven't talked about though.
Okay.
Cassandra Nova. What are your thoughts on her as a
Um,
villain?
did not like,
Really?
and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Wasn't the actress, wasn't how she was used in the film. It wasn't how they explained her origin. None of that. It was the fact that her power set was incorrect.
Mm,
That's it. She's not a telekinetic, she's a telepath. And her telepathy only works if she touches you.
yeah.
So that was my only gripe. But great performance, you
Mm,
know. Um, very threatening, very menacing, very good, but the power
mm.
set was incorrect.
Okay. Okay. I did
And
like
she's
how.
much older in the comic book. She's the same age as Xavier.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So making her younger, she's a variant, whatever, didn't care, didn't affect me and my enjoyment of it. I
Yeah.
just was like, that's not her powers.
Yeah. But they got a Hollywood fight a little bit.
I just think they did it to make her more menacing. And it
Probably.
worked. And it absolutely worked. It
Yeah.
was just that was one of my gripes, you know. And again, because they were so good with so many comic book references,
Hmm.
and other movie references, that I thought that's the one I was like, man, that stands out so much. But
Yeah.
someone like you who never read the books,
Mm.
don't mean anything to you. But me, who I've read the books, well, some of them, uh, uh, makes me go, damn, that takes it away from my enjoyment.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. I mean, I thought she was a good character. Like you said, menacing, definitely intimidating for sure. Uh, I loved this. I love the special effects of her just putting her hands inside people's head. Especially the part where she drags Mister Paradox like down the street. It was just like amazing. I don't know how they pulled that off, but that was just amazing special effects.
Yeah.
Um,
I did hate the fact he was called Paradox.
yeah, I wonder why they did that.
Well, I'll tell you why. There is a Green Lantern villain called Paradox that is evil and at one point possessed one of the Green Lantern, the most famous one.
Uh, I think I know the name you're going for. The one that they're making a show about.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
So at one point, a Paradox possesses Hal Jordan, turns him evil. And I just didn't like that because as a comic book reader, I instantly thought the Green Lantern villain, I wish we just would have picked a different name.
yeah.
But that's it. But decent character, and him being obsessed with the old ways and all that other stuff, I thought was really cool.
Okay, okay. So overall, the moment of the truth. How many chocolate bunnies are you giving Deadpool and Wolverine?
Are we doing whole numbers or are we doing decimals?
since it's like a big Marvel movie, we're gonna go for whole numbers here.
Okay, four.
4.
Four.
Good.
Not a perfect movie, but so good. And
Okay.
again, it's those, her power set is really what makes it a four.
Wow. Okay.
You know, um, and what this movie was surprisingly emotional. I didn't expect it to be so emotional. And but it hits just right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if there was one or two things different in the film,
Yeah.
I think I would give it a five, and it would have been the first five I've ever given.
Wow. Really? Well,
Yeah,
you've
I've
never
never
given a
given a
5
five.
on the podcast?
No, never given a five.
Oh. The day Los gives a film, a TV show a 5. Oh,
Well,
that's
let me correct myself. I've never given a non Star Trek thing a five.
oh, okay. Well, Still, that's huge. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that.
If
So
we were
yeah, we
going
got to.
decimal points, it would have been like a 4.5.
It would probably be the same for me, a 4, but if it was decimal points, 4.5. Um,
Now, I'm curious, what made you take away the point 5 for making it a perfect 5.0?
um, because I want to, just like you, I wanna watch it. I'm debating if I'm gonna watch it in theaters again. I wanna watch it one more time to see if
I mean,
what
like,
I'm.
there's good alternative means of watching the movie,
I
that are very clean, so I've heard, that will allow you to rewatch it.
have no idea what he's talking about, guys. Um, I
Just,
wanna.
you don't necessarily put your boots on to watch it.
But no, I want to make sure that what I feel for this movie is not just cameo hype. You know what I mean? Like I like there's multiple Marvel movies that I can go back, like Endgame, for example, probably more so Infinity War than Endgame. Where I can go back and I can watch that movie a million times and be like, "Dang, that's a good movie." Oof, like
I
that's
will
that's
tell you this much, on the second watch of the movie, you enjoy it more.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that, and mind you, I watched a movie with Hacker, and watching a movie with him is great
Mhm,
because him and I do the same thing. Like, we're more facial expressions than vocalizing,
mhm.
so you can enjoy it more. But some of the people going, "Oh, look, that's this," and and them saying the wrong things just annoyed the hell out of me. So watching it the second time, so much better.
Okay,
The story's good. The story holds up.
okay.
You'll enjoy it more the second time you watch it.
Okay. So yeah, I would say for me, definitely 4. The only reason why I say 4, not 5. Um, I mean, to me, 5 would just be perfect. It's an amazing movie. I wouldn't say it's perfect. Um, I did realize, like you said, that this movie is more emotional than the first two Deadpools, way more emotional. But I kind of figured that going into the fact that we're getting Logan here. And Logan is this old beat down man who's been through some things in life. And I figured that was going to bleed into Deadpool's world a little bit. You know what I mean? Kind of mix things up a little bit. So I'm glad that they were able to do that. Um, we still had our Deadpool humor in there, the uncomfortable, just over the top, just brash jokes and things like that. That was still there. But I love the fact that we were able to sprinkle in that emotions. And I just think overall, it was probably the most fun I've had in a Marvel movie. And I'm not including Spider-Man because I kind of consider that Sony sometimes. But this is the most fun I've had in a Marvel movie in a very long time. Like I just genuinely just had fun. I
Yeah.
laugh like almost every couple minutes. I'm laughing. I'm just enjoying it. You got cameos. You got oh wow, look at that Easter egg, Blade. Gambit. Like Flame on. Like it was just freaking fun. It was the most fun I've had in a movie theater in a very long time, especially in a Marvel movie. You know what I
And
mean?
the second time you watch it, you catch more jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second time you watch it, you definitely catch more jokes.
Yeah, see, that's why I wanna watch it again, and that's why a lot of times you're like, "Oh, hey, did you catch that?" I'm like, "Well, I don't remember," because it's like the first time was just such hype and energy that by the time I get that energy, I'm trying to calm down for the next scene. So, you know what I mean? So I might have missed this or missed that, but at least now I know going to the second time, like, all right, I know what to expect. I can take things in a little differently this time. You know what I mean? Compared to
Yeah.
just like the hype, the energy. Oh wow, look at this. Flashing lights, superhero over there. So that's why like some things I have to go back to remember because, everything was just going, going, going.
See, when a movie's this hyped, the energy you come into it is, I compare it to like the first time you hook up with some chick you're dying to hook up with. You're like all excited, and
Mhm.
kind of, if you do a half decent job, you're like, yeah, it was the best. And the second time you go into it, you're like, oh, let me put the proper work in. Um, but the one thing I don't like about this fucking movie is it got that damn bye 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 song stuck in my head.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe that song for a song that's over 25 years old is like hit the top 25 chart,
Yeah,
Billboard?
I believe it.
It's insane.
I think it's their best
It's
song.
insane. It definitely is one of their best songs, hands
No, I
down.
think it is their absolute best song. And one of the reasons why it's their best song is because that song was very emotionally charged for them because they made that last album separate from their contract, separate from their old managers and everything else, and it's what they wanted to do. And that song "Bye Bye Bye," it's about leaving their old managers and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess maybe that was Deadpool's way of saying bye 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 to 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
You know.
The last thing I want to talk about when they played "Time of Your Life" at the end when they were showing all the Fox movies bloopers. What did
Oh,
you think of that?
honestly, that really hit me in some feels because like growing up, man, even now, I'm a very big X-Men fan. Growing up, I played a lot of X-Men video games, watched the cartoons, read the comics. Like I bled X-Men. That was my thing. So
But not the
seeing
comics. You read the comics?
I did read some of the comics. Obviously, I don't remember a lot of it. I was a kid at that time.
Okay.
But yeah, I read the comics as well. And at that time when the 20th Century Fox started putting out the X-Men movies, that was a dream come true for me because before that we never had that. We never had like live action X-Men movies. That just wasn't really a thing. So seeing those reels, it just really took me back to all those great moments. And obviously, all those movies weren't great, but there were still some, some good gems in there. And it was nice to just have this moment to just really look back at that time, look back at 20th Century Fox, look back at, the previous mutant era as we get ready to step into this new generation of mutant era. And it was nice that they pay respect to it,
Yeah.
honestly.
I
Yeah.
actually literally when it was done, I said to myself, "That's a beautiful send off."
Yeah, it was nice.
It was nice.
Definitely.
It was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah. Because at first going into this movie, I was thinking, oh, Ryan Reynolds is just going to crap on 20th Century Fox. He's just going to just,
I don't think he
you know,
did at all in the
I don't
movie.
think he did either. And I was actually surprised. It was respectful. It was respectful, even though he obviously didn't agree with some of the things that 20th Century Fox did with his character.
Yeah.
Um, but it was respectful, and I it was very very tasteful. So definitely big ups to them. Hats off to them. And it's time to move on to the future of the mutants.
Okay. Now, well, before I ask my last question to you about the film, my second to last question is, what was your favorite song in the movie?
Hmm. Bye bye bye.
Yeah, same for me.
Gotta
Did
go
you
with
see
that
the
one.
video of the guy who did the dancing in the Deadpool costume when he talked about how he got the part?
I saw a social media clip of him doing it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what he released.
yeah, but I didn't like see the one with him talking about it. I just saw him like dancing real quick and like that was it.
Oh, if you, there's a long, it's probably an excerpt from that clip,
Mhm,
but if you, and it's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, like some of the maximum length you could put on TikTok.
mhm.
Look it up. It's on YouTube and it's like 2 or 3 minutes, and he couldn't talk about it for like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking about that. Could you imagine making or being involved in this kind of movie and you can't say nothing for like years? Like not even to me, and we have a podcast together. You know what I mean? You're just like, yeah, I
I don't
like, yo, Los, what you working on, man? Nothing.
know. I would actually like if it was me. I'm like, oh, I'm just working on this small independent film.
Oh, what is
What
it
are you good at
about?
that? Oh, what are you doing? Ah, I'm just dancing in it.
Just that.
I'm
Oh,
gonna be good
really?
at that.
Can I see your moves? What's your moves?
No, man. I'm talking about if I was him.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's what I would say. Like, oh yeah, let me see your moves, Los.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, ah,
Yeah,
twist my ankle.
yeah.
But but yeah. I mean, that would be rough. Not being able to talk about it.
For 2 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years, something like that. He said it was a really long time.
Especially for like a movie like this. Like you're excited. Like this is Deadpool and Wolverine, the one movie that everybody's been dying to have, and you
And
can't say
Ryan
no.
Reynolds in interviews has mentioned him by name, has complimented him, has talked him up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he did kill it though. Like literally killed it. I was like, wow, this is
Well, it
literally an
was
insane
funny when I
film.
was watching the movie for the first time. I was like, so distracted by how good he did the dance.
Yeah, me too.
I was like,
Me
"Oh shit,
too.
he's really doing the dance."
Yeah. It was so hilarious. So hilarious, man. But yeah, great film.
And it's becoming a TikTok trend now.
Yes, everybody's doing the version, like the Deadpool version of the bye 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 dance now at this
Yeah,
point, and it's hilarious. It also, I think it already hit $1 billion worldwide now at this point, over a
I don't doubt
billion.
it. I don't
Yeah,
doubt it.
it's breaking records, man. It's breaking records.
See,
So
my hope is that people seeing that a mature adult um oriented superhero film can be as successful, if not more successful, than a non-adult oriented one or a middle of the road oriented one. Because
mhm.
the PG-13 ones have been all of Marvel, and this has been adult.
Yeah,
And even Kevin Feige was like, "No, they're going to keep doing it that way. I'm not messing with that formula. It works."
yeah. Which
You know,
I'm glad, because I know when the first Deadpool came out, everybody was like, "It's gonna be rated R. Uh-oh, what's gonna happen with that?" I know it was very, like, unknown waters for them to walk into a rated R comic book movie. A lot of people were a little afraid about that. Not just that one.
but they've done it before in all the other Deadpool movies,
Yeah,
but it wasn't Marvel. All
yeah, it
right,
wasn't Marvel with
so
that.
I'm going to mention my favorite Easter egg in the whole movie,
Okay,
and you're going to laugh about it because it's about it's an Easter egg from a series you hate.
okay.
What is your least favorite Marvel TV series?
What is my least favorite one?
From the first character that broke the fourth wall in comic books.
Oh my goodness. What Easter egg is from that? From She-Hulk?
Kevin, remember the dude with the three cameras, the robot?
Kevin was in this?
Yeah, he was hanging above Deadpool and Wolverine when they were talking to the Human Torch.
Did I miss that?
Yeah,
I
you
got
did.
to look.
It's one of
Wow,
those
I missed
blink
that.
and you'll miss it moments.
I totally missed that. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, definitely gotta, you know what? I feel like this movie was like the backlot of like Marvel films. Like, hey, let's just get everything from the backlot and put it in this movie.
yeah. Essentially,
Every
yeah, it was.
That's basically what it felt like. It was just the backlot of Marvel.
Okay, now
Um,
the last question that I have for you:
okay.
what did you think of the post credit scene?
Um, I could have done without it. Honestly, I mean, I get why they did it. Ha ha ha, jokes.
No, no,
Uh,
no, no. I don't think they did it for a joke.
I don't know. I could have done without it. I wasn't really crazy about it. I'm expecting something that's gonna lead into something, even if it is Deadpool being Deadpool. I'm expecting it to just have a little bit more beef to it, and it was just, hey, this is what the Human Torch said. When you guys weren't looking. I thought it was okay. I
I
really didn't
thought
care.
it was necessary
Why so?
because the way it is originally presented, it makes you think that Deadpool purposely got the Human Torch killed,
Well, yeah, of
and then
course.
with the after credit scene, when the Human Torch is in, I don't give a fuck if you tell her that what I said. It made sense because Deadpool is kind of a kid sometimes. He goes, "Well, you said you don't care if I said what you said."
Yeah, he
You
is.
know,
He is.
so it put Deadpool in a better light. So that's why I felt it was necessary.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I still could have done without it, honestly.
And another TikToker, don't ask me who, I don't remember
Okay.
who have a podcast similar to ours where they talk about pop culture,
Yeah.
examined the the post credit scene, and on one of the screens it shows Gambit walking into the old headquarters. So Gambit survived the fight, and
Really?
yeah, supposedly.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you may see Gambit again.
I hope so, because with the way that went, man, I think we need to see Gambit again, man, because that was amazing. That was amazing. I will say that the topic that I want to talk about, which we'll save to next podcast, because I believe this deserves an entire episode by itself, um, is Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom.
I don't think it deserves a whole episode, but I do agree it needs more time than what we have left in today's
Yeah,
podcast.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. But that's what we're going to talk about next episode for sure, because that's a big topic, and a lot of people on the social medias in the pop culture world has definitely been voicing their opinions about why it could be a good idea, why it's a bad idea, and why it's just cheap way out basically
I
to
will
get
hold all
fans
my
excited.
comments to the next podcast
Copy that.
because we have this bad habit of once we start talking about something, we keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just
So
gonna leave that right there.
exactly.
Um, damn, I don't think there's anything else we could possibly talk about
No,
this
I
movie.
mean, no, I think we pretty much got most of the big points out so far.
And mind you, even though we were spoilery, we weren't really spoilery.
That is true. That is true, actually. I mean, we did throw some in there, but we didn't really give too
Oh wait,
much.
wait, what was Legion's question again?
But what about my question? What was your question, Legion? Which one you talking about? What's your guys' thoughts on the one person who was seeing that Deadpool so hot at the end of the movie? What do you mean? You might have to reword that again, Legion, because it was worded a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, but yeah, overall, like I said, we're both pretty much giving
Oh, I
Deadpool.
think he's talking about Wolverine shirt burning off.
Is that the one you're talking about, Legion? Maybe, possibly. Let
Well,
us
my
know.
whole gripe about it was if the costume burned, the helmet should have burned. That's it. That's
Yeah,
my
I
gripe.
was confused about that. Like when he came back up and I saw that the shirt burned off, and then I was like, "Oh, but the mask is still on." I just thought it was a little weird, but I think they kept it on to keep the fan service. But I still
No,
thought it
I
was a little weird.
think they did it just in case they needed to use a body double.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that. You're right. The body
But he
double
did
thing.
work out for this. So
Yeah, he
it's
busts
him.
his butt. He definitely busts his butt for this film, as he always does. But yeah, we both for probably for no, I mean we had it for a few times where we give the same score, but for this one, I'm surprised we both had the same score pretty much for Deadpool and Wolverine. I feel that we were both looking forward to reviewing and talking about. Um, Legion said the black woman who was so into that one Deadpool near the end of the movie.
Oh, that she was into Peter.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
was cool. I think that character Peter needed to be expanded a
Yeah.
little bit, And what I also liked about it, um, is a lot of times in movies they have a tendency to keep the same race with the same race.
Hmm.
Um, the only exception is if they want to do shock value with a white woman and a black man, like guess who's coming to dinner?
Hmm.
Or they make a character ghetto and it's like a black man with a Latina. So the fact that it's, you know, two
I'm
people
black.
who are like, hey, you're kind of hot. And that's what it is. Loved it.
Yeah, that
Because it,
that was
cause it
actually
wasn't
pretty
a
funny.
shock value thing. It was like, hey,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
looking like a snack. That's the reason why I liked it. Because it was a no shock value thing. It was a very human moment and I loved it.
Exactly. Yeah, I did like that too. It was like, hey, here's this little thing. We're gonna let it be what it is. Here it is. All right, let's move on now.
Yeah.
I like that. It was fine.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
and that's why do you remember Spike Lee's movie Jungle Fever?
Yes.
And that's what I liked about Jungle Fever because it wasn't like a fetish thing. It was just two people who happened to just have an attraction for each other.
Yeah. You got
And Legion says, yeah, that Peter moment. Like I said, I loved it. I loved it because it was so human.
yeah, that
It was
was
so human.
that was
And
definitely
what I love the fact it was she was shocked, like, really? You think I'm cute? And then she
good.
was like, well, you are a snack too. So we could talk about it. Like she was so in her business mode. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, she
That
definitely
that
was.
that it took her a second to catch it. And once she caught it, she was like, "Oh, I'm catching what you're putting down."
Oh, I see what you're talking about, boy. I
Yeah.
see what
I
you're talking about.
loved that moment. And I really
Yeah.
hope that relationship continues into the next
Yeah,
movie in Marvel.
I think that's gonna be pretty fun, honestly, especially if
Yeah.
they do something again with like a TVA related show. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, yeah, that concludes our review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Once again, thank you guys for joining us for season 5 of JHouze Radio.
Wait, we're not doing
Um,
recommendations or anything?
nah, today was, I mean, unless you have one.
I do have one.
Oh, you do have one? Let's
Yes.
go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think people should sign up for Marvel Unlimited.
That's still
You
out.
That's still out, dude.
I didn't know it was still a thing.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
you can go on the Kindle app, you can actually get Comics Unlimited. And so you have a shit ton of comics that you
Mm,
can read, essentially for free. Because right now I'm reading, and I'm not exaggerating, Silk, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man Miles Morales, um, a couple of Star Trek comic books,
okay.
Silk. See a theme here?
Mhm.
I'm reading a couple of X-Men books. I'm about
Okay.
to start an X-23 book,
Okay.
and you can just catch up on so much of comic books in the lore. And with reading it on an iPad, you are so surprised how quickly you will fly through comic books. I think I read, and I'm not exaggerating, like 18 to 20 in under an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Because what happens is you open up the comic book page, you double click on a cell,
Mm,
right? So then you've got the cell, and you're literally just going flick, 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 flick
yeah.
as you read each cell, and you fly through the comic book. Fly through the comic book. And it is amazing. And it makes me so happy that I freaking broke the bank and bought the iPad Pro 12.9-inch because the artwork is gorgeous. And I'm telling you, bro, get that Marvel Unlimited or get the DC Unlimited or get the Comixology Unlimited through
Mm,
Amazon, and you will read so much.
interesting. Okay.
Like literally, if I'm on the toilet,
You're reading. You're
I
swiping.
bring my iPad in there and my legs are numb before I go, oh yeah, I think I should stop reading. If I start reading at night, like I got my wife yelling at me, go to bed already. You've been up for like 45 minutes reading, whatever.
Hmm.
So I do recommend it because another thing too is it gives you the 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 extra enjoyment of looking at these comic book movies like I had, knowing, oh look, the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine is here. Oh look, the Hulk versus Wolverine is here. And like seeing all these little Easter eggs and things like that, and knowing the storyline, it's great. And I think for me, I feel like my experience watching these movies are more fulfilled because I know the background of the characters.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation.
Okay. Legion does have a question. He says, speaking of that, where would you want to start from all those comics if a person wants to start at the beginning of it?
Do a Google search for like the most important comic books. Like you put most important issues of the X-Men, and you're going to jump between issues in the 70s, you're going to jump between issues in the 80s, issues in the 90s. That's your best way if you want a history of a character. But if you just kind of want to learn it, pick it up from the most recent run. And the most recent run usually is about 5 years old. 5 to 7 years old, and if you read through, and a lot of the history from the character comes up because comic book writers like to keep threads from old comic books and other writers alive in what they're talking about. You know, so like for us, a good example of keeping a thread is alive when we mention the studio once or twice. That's
Yeah.
our thread to the past. But yeah, definitely. Like there are a few characters that you can read the most current ones and be up to date. Like one of them is Silk, which is a woman who got bitten by the same spider that Peter Parker did, and
Yeah.
she has her own set of Spider-Man spider powers because she's a recent character. You know,
Okay.
um, and then you'll wind up finding things about like Squirrel Girl,
Oh,
who
yeah. I
most
forgot
people
about Squirrel
think
Girl.
are like is a absolute minor character, but she's kicked the crap out of the Hulk once.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Domino's kicked the crap out of the Hulk once.
Mm,
So, and again, that's one of those things where like with the second Deadpool movie, I knew exactly who Domino was, and I was curious how they're going to present her because in the comic books, they kind of physically present her as Asian, but she's white in the sense of like white paint with
Yeah.
a big black patch. And then they went in the other direction in the movie, and I was like, oh well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I recommend. Um, but Deadpool's one of those books that are very weird. Like you read it and it is all over the place. The movies are more focused than Deadpool, but the Deadpool books are hysterical, absolutely hysterical. So yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would recommend, and that's what I would say you should do.
Jeez, you might have
Um,
sold me on that one, Lewis. Just
yeah, dude, like okay, a comic book run from 7 years ago started called the New X-Men, and the original X-Men traveled forward in time, right,
yeah.
to meet up with the current version of the X-Men.
Mm. That sounds like
And
an actual interesting story.
oh my god, it's so interesting. And on top of that, Jean Grey is already dead. So you now have the older Cyclops,
Mhm.
feigning over the young teenage Jean Grey.
Oh, wow.
So it's this weird mixture of stuff. And there's a point in the comic books where uh Magic, Colossus, um, Emma Stone, and Cyclops get the power of the Phoenix Force, and Cyclops kills Professor X, and then he gets put in jail, and then now in the comic book he's treated like a Martin Luther King character or Malcolm
Mm.
X character, and you see characters go, Cyclops was right about hating humans and stuff like that, and it's to this day these characters are there. And then they took a character like Iceman, and the younger version that traveled through time is gay, but the older version who's from this timeline is straight, and so it brings a lot of confusion, and it's a really good run.
Yeah.
That's one of the issues of the new X-Men that, yeah, you should believe. Like Cyclops winds up joining the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, like there's so much, and again, reading it through the app, you fly through it, and it's worth it. So that's my recommendation.
Love you guys. You're amazing. Season five's here. Can't wait for the new journey, and we'll catch you guys later.
Later.
Peace and chicken grease.